The Padres are the first ones who are the victims of the death of regional sports networks. Bally Sports studios are dark. The Diamond Sports Group, which is a subsidiary of Sinclair Broadcasting, which ran Bally Sports, reneged on their contract with the Padres. Major League Baseball seized the Padre broadcast on Tuesday night after the game, after Diamond Sports missed a second rights fee payment that was due. I'll just give you the deep background. Sinclair, big broadcast owner, owns a ton of major market TV stations, created the Diamond Sports Group to get involved with sports broadcasting. So they have the rights to 14 Major League Baseball teams under regional sports networks. They also have NBA packages. They have National Hockey League packages. Well, Diamond Sports has taken a huge hit because of people cord cutting, dropping cable.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Okay. It's your fault.
Okay.
It's your fault I can't see Padre baseball on my TV right now. Blame the guy who's going back out to left field. So what's happened is Diamond has been losing so much money over the last 4 years because of cord cutting, John. They went to these ball clubs that they had the rights with, Arizona, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, et cetera, and the Padres, and said, we want a reduction in the rights fee we're paying.
Yeah.
Club said no. Went to Major League Baseball and said, we really need help. Baseball's response is, the contract is a contract. The Padres, $60 million a year. That's what they were getting from Bally Sports and Diamond Sports Group to televise the games. Well, Diamond stopped making payments to clubs in the offseason. Right before opening day, they worked a deal where they pay a third of what they owed to each of the teams to start the season. So the Padres got a $20 million payment. The second payment was due last weekend, did not make it, informed the Padres they would not make it. MLB seized it immediately. They're the first club that baseball has jumped in and taken the rights away. Major League Baseball had been planning for the collapse of the RSNs, the regional sports networks, for a chunk of time, and had formulated plans. They had hired 3 broadcast executives who used to be with Sinclair to give guidance as to how to do this. So baseball jumps right in, takes the Padres, had the blueprint already laid out on the table. We're going to stream the games. You can subscribe through MLB TV. If you've got DirectTV, it'll be up there. AT&T, Uverse, a whole bunch of these other places, Spectrum, Cox, etc., subscriptions. So Padre fan now can get access to the games for $19.99 a month, and I think $79.99 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing that really worries me. $60 million in rights fee per year for the Padres is an enormous amount of money, John.
Yeah, it is.
How many subscriptions do you have to sell at $19.99 a month to get to $60 million rights fee? That, to me, is a huge, huge, big picture issue, because I don't think the Padres are going to be able to capitalize on that kind of revenue stream ever again.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably have to sell like 1 million subscriptions, right? At, roughly $60 a year. I know it's 79, but to use big numbers, they're going to have to sell close to 1 million subscriptions to make up it. And that's paying for the left side of your infield.
It's a big issue. Baseball last night, and the bankruptcy proceedings are going on in Houston, John, as we speak. Diamond Sports Group went back to the bankruptcy judge and said, we think because the industry has collapsed, we should have the right to restructure down the rights fees to every one of our franchises. And the judge at this point has yet to make a ruling. But last night, there was a 9.5-hour hearing before the bankruptcy judge involving Rob Manfred, the commissioner, all types of lawyers, and the judge, walking through the background of how this situation got to the situation where the Padres games were seized by MLB. And Manfred testified under oath that the president of Sinclair came to him last year and said, we have to change our baseball contract with you. We're choking to death because the industry has changed.
Mm-hmm.
He threatened Manfred. He told Manfred in this one-on-one meeting, and the judge heard all this. The lawyers on the other side admitted this happened. The president of Sinclair told Rob Manfred that if you do not help us reduce the rights fees, we're going to file for bankruptcy and we're going to put all your clients, all your teams out in the street without TV contracts. It was really a nasty exchange. I read some of the dialogue that went on during the court case. And Manfred said, no, we're not going to cut the rights fees to each of our clients. And if you take us to bankruptcy, we're going to take all the rights back in-house and you'll be out the $2 billion you invested. It was a really nasty exchange. Then Sinclair came back to him and said, let's make a different deal. We'll continue to pay the fees the way they're structured. Padres $60 million, whatever all the other clubs are getting. We'll continue to pay it. You give us the streaming rights to all 30 teams in baseball for the future. Sinclair is trying to pull a money power play that they could take the streaming rights and create this bonanza for them and to a degree bail out baseball. Manfred said, no, we own the streaming rights. We're not giving them up. And on top of that, the big money franchises who already have successful streaming packages, Yankee baseball, Met baseball, Red Sox baseball, Nesson Sports Network and all that, said absolutely not. First of all, we're not turning our rights back to baseball so that all these other small clubs could cherry pick off our pie that we've already created with SNY for the Mets and what they're getting in New York and Boston. And so the commissioner's got a problem with the big money market teams that don't want to give back. But at the end of the day, baseball has now made the Padres the prime example. And I found out late last night that the commissioner, as part of this deal, when he approached the Padres and said, this deal's going away, and we're going to take you in-house, and you'll be the first franchise that we're going to do this creative stuff with. The commissioner said, we will pay you 80% left of the unpaid rights fee from Bally Sports.
Okay.
So Padres had already gotten $20 million the day before the season started. They're still owed $40. They are going to get $32 million from MLB on a one-time payoff. Now, if this happens to any other team, baseball's guaranteed that whatever's the unpaid amount for the Diamondbacks or the Pirates, if we have to take those rights in, we'll give you 80% of the remaining unpaid money. So the Padres are, to a degree, going to be made whole for the rest of the year. But there is no rights fee next season. So 2024, if baseball takes everything in-house or most everything in-house, Padres are not going to get $60 million. That's a huge revenue stream to be without. So that's the backstory as to how this thing got to where this thing is. I'm not sure at this point, and I had not had a lot of time to dive into the Padre fans' Twitter feeds. You do. Are the fans enraged that they don't have access to the games the way they were presented before? Is everybody diving in to do the subscription now for MLB streaming? Do you get any pulse at all from Padre fans?
Yeah, I have, because I know that if you have Cox Cable in San Diego, they're going to be on Channel 4, just like they were in the 1990s. So for some Padre fans, they're thinking this is great, and it's part of their package. Now, we cut the cord. We have internet, but with Cox Cable for the internet only. So our television, we have DirectTV stream, and Bally Sports was part of that package. But then last night's game and today's game, both, we were able to see it as DirectTV stream as a separate Padre-only channel. So it didn't cost us anything extra. It didn't disrupt our ability to watch the games. The same thing is true with all the Cox Cable customers. I'd imagine it's similar on Uverse or whatever other platforms. So it was a change. There was a time when we were all wondering what was going to happen, but so far it's not been that big of a deal.
Now, I have DirectTV, and I've had that for a long time. That was a spinoff of NFL Sunday Ticket. Luckily, I kept it. I haven't canceled it, so I get to see Padres. But there's a lot of people who just had Spectrum, and you won't get it on Spectrum anymore unless you buy the package or you buy MLB TV's package. So it's going to be a little bit different going forward. Biggest question that I ran into, I work out every morning at a fitness center, is where can I find the Padres games?
Yeah, well, everything's changed.
John Q. fan wasn't really sure.
But, as a Padre fan, I love this, actually. I think if you're a viewer, it makes a lot of sense, because when we cut the cord, we used to have Cox Cable. You got like 200 channels, and you got Bally Sports, and it was fine. But we cut the cord because we didn't want to deal with Cox and television, and we wanted to go through this a la carte model. We have Netflix and Amazon Prime, and then we wanted to get, just the sports channels we wanted. Well, it turned out that I couldn't get Padres a la carte. I had to subscribe to the whole MLB package. And even if I did that, I wasn't able to get the home games because they were blacked out. And so I had to subscribe to DirecTV Stream, which gave me 200 channels. It's like a cable package. It's costing me $100 a month. Now, I don't watch anything else on DirecTV Stream pretty much except the Padres and maybe like news channels. Well, I'm going to now be able to eliminate $100 a month, and I could just pay for the Padres at $20 a month. So I'm ahead $80 every month.
It's different. And how about the audacity of the president of Sinclair to threaten the commissioner of baseball? I'll do this if you don't give me what I want. To which point Rob Manfred said, if you miss the payments, we're seizing control of the rights. So they got one club. We'll see what happens with the others that are in this mix. And we'll see what the bankruptcy judge rules. Maybe we think by Friday night.
Well, they're both right. I mean, the Sinclair guys are right because the whole marketplace has changed. And when people are cutting the cord, their revenue stream has gone down and they're still on the hook for 20 million or 60 million a year. But to Manfred's point, a contract's a contract. Now, you would hope that they would be able to negotiate in good faith, fully understanding how everything has changed in the last few years. But if they want to be a stickler, then it's going to make this thing a really difficult divorce.
Well, the other thing that was going on that came up as evidence as Manfred was doing his testimony on Wednesday was that he accused Sinclair, the corporate company, of going into the marketplace and sales pitching the sponsor, Texaco. You get the games and you get all the features that you will sponsor. And by the way, we're going to do streaming and we're going to control all the teams in baseball and you'll get a piece of that too. They were selling something they don't have.
Oh, that's not right.
And Manfred found out about it. And he put his foot down after the president of Sinclair put his hand on him and said, if you don't do this, we're taking this thing to bankruptcy and we'll put all your teams out in the street.
Wow.
Holy cow.
It's like a game of chicken.
Yeah. And you're going to do this with the commissioner of baseball? You're going to intimidate Rob Manfred? I don't think so. So that's where we are with Padre baseball on the field. Weekend series. They got the Cubs and they got the Mariners and they go back out on the road. Sidebar story in Major League Baseball. Dodgers-Yankees. You think they'll draw 50,000 at Dodger Stadium Friday, Saturday, Sunday to see Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and Garrett Cole against Dodger Blue? Wow, what a cool series that's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be like the late 70s when those two teams faced off in the World Series. So that's going to be a great one. I mean, that's a bi-coastal gig. And then, the Padres, they won 10-1 today. I mean, the offense lit up. So maybe they're turning the corner.
It only counts as one, please. One other baseball